I see you. Good morning. Bo and I, are out trying to get cattle moved a little bit. In between hunts here, kind of put them in a different area, which was kind of scheduled anyway, but it helps as far as when we're hunting. It kind of moves them around a little bit, so it's the best thing we can do while we're hunting. So we're trying to kind of get some of that done before we start up again, which won't be long. So we are hot and heavy. Mr. Bo is ready to go. He says we're trying to just do some moving here by calling them a little bit first. Then we're going to have to go get around them and kind of bring the stragglers, because there's some that are a pasture that way that didn't, during this last hunt, they kind of went where they weren't supposed to, which happens a lot for whatever reason. Typically it's because the deer knocked the fence down. Bo, you okay? His stomach's turning a little bit. Typically a deer will knock the fence down while they're chasing or whatever, and they have started chasing the rut. We're right on the cusp of the beginning of the rut. The bucks have started splitting up, and they're the younger bucks are maybe trying to push a little bit, but it's that time of year that it's fixing to get crazy. So they tend to run through a lot of fence during that time of year. That's one of the reasons I'm putting in that new that galvanized high tensile fence over for the goats. That's kind of my field test to change out all of this aluminum. I've got a lot of aluminum for the rest of my electric fence, and the deer just destroy it. The 12.5 gauge high tensile, I'm testing it right now, and so far it's passing with flying colors. So if that could withstand bucks chasing does through it, it'll withstand anything. So I'll keep you posted on that. But anyway, we're trying to get the cows moved, and we're going to try and do it as good as we can and get it done fairly quick. So that's what we're doing. There was a red cow that one of the guides saw when they were hunting not far from here, that had he said the lower foot was like a gallon jug. And so I asked him if he saw any blood or any signs of fence or anything like that on the foot, and he said no. And he said, but she wouldn't put any weight on it or anything like that. And so immediately, this time of year, I think rattlesnake or moccasin, but typically rattlesnakes, because we're starting to have some cold fronts come in, and when those cold fronts start coming in, those snakes, they start moving big time, heading for the dens. But I ran across one that was doing that very thing a day before the hunt started. Roll video, Lisa. So if you see me walking through the woods talking and I'm not looking at you guys, that's what I'm doing. You'll see me look down like that every now and again, and that's what I'm watching for snakes. Never been bit, knock knock knock, but it could happen anytime. So anyway, gotta watch for them. You know, this time of year, you really want to start kind of monitoring your cattle, your livestock's energy level. And by that I mean observing them, observe and adjust. One of the best ways to kind of watch cattle is if you're moving them, or if you're driving them, or if you're a homesteader and you're feeding them. When you go out to do that and they start that process, if you see bucking and pitching and that kind of stuff, then they feel good. On cattle, we see it more this time of year because it starts getting cool, and I think they're sick of the heat. Somebody else has probably got a more scientific reason for that, but they definitely start doing it when their energy content is about right, or at least higher. When it's low, no matter what you do, hot to cold, which makes them feel good, feed, or anything like that, which makes them feel good, they don't even hardly respond. They just kind of mope around and just walk. So that's what you want to monitor this time of year. And if you need to make any adjustments, whether that be giving them a little bit of feed or moving them to a fresh pasture, this is the time when you do that. So these act like they've got about right energy content or energy level for right now. As we go through the dormant season, that level will go down, and we'll continue to move them, and we'll continue to hopefully move them to fresh and better pasture every time we move them. So that's the plan. So I guess I need to go check the goats and feed the dogs. Pay attention to the kids. They're growing like weeds, which is great. They've got lots to eat, but I'll kind of look at that while I'm down there. So here they are. I've got the dogs fed. I'm just kind of letting these nannies and kids walk by me here. Got a chance to look at them a little bit. But I was going to stop right quick and just talk a little bit about their condition. Their condition is increasing, which amazes me on the goats. This time of year they start getting fatter. But then again, if you look at what was in here for them to eat, there was mostly, there was a bunch of giant ragweed. And you can look through here and see that they've eaten quite a bit of it. And you can kind of see what's left. Now it's promoted lots of clover, and there's looks like maybe some winter annuals coming. So it looks great. They ought to do nothing but continue to gain, which is outstanding for the kids that are still in here. Hopefully most of the nannies have kicked them off. That's what we want them to do. We want them to kind of do what nature would do. So hopefully they've done that. There's one of the A team. Sam. You know, really this has been a very unusual year. I feel like the temperatures have been higher than normal, and hence a lot of green you still see. We've still got some perennial grasses here that are green, which is unusual this time of year. Now we're supposed to get a freeze maybe in the next couple of days, or at least a pretty hard frost. Well, you know how weather forecasts are. It's really hard to predict. But if it freezes or it doesn't matter. We'll deal with it. That's just life here on the ranch. That's what you have to do. I got to get around here and get back to the tree. Thanks for watching.